Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Killcount Classified. I'm your host, Kyle Striker, Navy SEAL, and with me I have...
Jason Steele.
Today is a very special episode as we're on the beaches of Normandy where many Americans landed and fell and also fought like animals. The starting ground for where we won over the Germans. Now we're actually filming this episode on a German bunker actually quite near the beach where we landed. This was the bunker that was firing at me and Jason here.
Yeah.
And we went in there and we took these guys out with fists. We didn't even shoot back. We just jumped in.
No guns.
No guns. They didn't give us that back in the day. It was one gun per boat. One gun per boat. That's how it was.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you might get mad because I just mentioned Americans landing here. And while it might be true that other nationalities landed on this beach, like the Brits, the Indians, and the Canadians. Supposedly, a lot of Canadians died. And let me make something clear. I don't like Canadians that much. Not at all. They're people that they nap a lot.
They take a lot of naps. They do take a lot of naps. We don't like that. We don't like that at all.
I don't really trust people that take naps. Why don't you just, stay awake? Like, it can't be that hard for you that you got to nap.
No. And also, they say a lot of Canadians died here. But, speaking of proportions and per capita, a lot of Canadians, that's about 12 people. 12 or 13 people or so.
I know the statistical numbers that you hear the fake news feed you, probably like tens of thousands or thousands or whatever it is.
You must keep in mind, this is liberal media that's telling you this.
Yeah.
Liberal, left-wing, libtard, fake news media.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. How many Canadians realistically lived in Canada back in those days? What is it? Over almost 100 years ago now, this beach landing. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually, after I cleared out this bunker that I'm standing on, and I stand on it proudly, I am actually sitting, but whatever. I actually went to the beach where the Canadians supposedly landed, and I took out the Germans that were in the bunker waiting for the Canadians to land, and I actually mounted the gun.
Yeah.
I mounted the gun and I mowed those Canadians down because I knew they were going to take all the credit because that's just the type of people they are, especially the French. Right. The French Canadians.
The French Canadians are the worst. They're they are worse than the normal French people.
Yeah.
And after the first beach was cleared, Oma, we were kind of bored because we had time to kill, and the other beach landings they were taking their time. So we went over to the different beaches and we just started clearing up all the Germans. And that's when we realized these people are going to take the credit for what we did.
Yeah.
And they need to be toughened up because they're really going into combat and not actually seeing any combat. That makes you a weak person. So we had to give them some personality improvement, some personality training to strengthen their characters. So we had to mount the machine guns the Germans left behind after we beat them up with our bare fists. And then we started firing on the Canadians. Some controversy came from this, especially since we wore the German uniforms. I did not like that because we swapped our uniforms because we had to make it a bit more believable. And, after a while of wearing a German uniform, some confusion happened. Being special forces, you're kind of used to being behind enemy lines and doing some covert operations where you might wear enemy uniforms and pretend to be enemy. So it probably, when we started to regroup with other German groups and other German companies and started to mount offensives against the Normandy landings, some people were complaining that maybe we were taking it too far, but really we were just the
thing is that we take this seriously when it comes to special operations.
You cannot fuck around with special operations. You have to really live it. It's sort of like method acting, but life or death. So we actually regrouped with the 42nd SS Panzer Division, and we started to move and circle around Normandy. And we were killing paratroopers. If you watch Band of Brothers, the Germans who were fighting the paratroopers, the first waves, I was actually part of that German garrison that was fighting. And, after doing this for a while, I was actually shot and injured.
It's called the mustard gas. Still affects
I was
us
actually
today.
shot and injured, and some of the mustard gas actually was Cyclone B.
Cyclone
because
B.
I was injured, so they rotated me back, and they said, since you're wearing an exemplary soldier, we're gonna put you in this
Prison camp, I think it was.
It's a sort of prison camp, and we had some gas there, but it was mostly for pest control,
defensive uses,
control and defensive use. And it did damage my vocal cords a little bit.
Yeah. We got cancer a couple of times, but we survived because I mean, if a bullet can't kill you, why is a supposed disease going to? Like,
not gonna do anything, really.
You've already. It's like entering. Like, my body's a castle, right? It's a fortress. Now you've been strong enough to already enter me. Now you're inside of me. You're inside of me. You're in my guts.
Now you're in his guts. You're putting down pressure. You're expanding. It's like a fist, really, just pounding
and inside of me.
When you're outside, it's like a castle, hard to get in. But when you're inside, it's like a tight prison cell.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to get out.
Now you're like in a little tight room, and I got a bunch of machine guns inside. It's like a shooting fish in a barrel. Okay, you were strong enough to get inside the castle. You were strong enough to get inside the fortress. Now you're inside my barrel. I got guns in there. I got bombs. I just need to pull some levers. You're dead. That's what I did with my cancer.
And also people say, "Oh, shooting fish in a barrel. That's for cowards." I say, they're in the barrel. Go ahead, do what you got to do.
What, are you gonna let them out in the ocean?
No, they're already in the barrel. You caught them.
You got to shoot fish in the barrel,
right?
Because it's in the barrel. I mean, clearly, someone put the fish in the barrel.
That's what I'm saying.
The fish isn't gonna climb into the barrel.
No.
Someone put it in there. So therefore, we shoot the fish that's in the barrel. But yeah, man, it was hard. It was hard, being undercover for so long. I can't count the amount of times I committed friendly fire. We
could not. It was covert, so we cannot just reveal who we were.
Exactly.
So we had to keep going. We had to keep going. It's simple.
I mean, we in special ops, you just got to play the role all the way through. I mean, we were, after the war ended, we were on trial. We went to prison for 50 years.
I even took on a German name.
Yeah.
For a while. I actually went to the U.S. with a guy named Werner von Braun. We moved to the U.S. just at the end of the war, and restarted basically my life. And that's obviously when the war ended. Also, my covert operation ended, so I did get my American name back. So that's why I'm Jason Steele again.
I actually disguised myself as a goose, believe it or not, a goose, and I climbed out of a German bunker I was in. I don't know why, but I'd woken up and realized that all my colleagues had blown their brains out for some reason. There was like a burnt corpse or something outside the bunker. I don't know what had been going on in that bunker. I don't even know who I was with. I think it was some high-ranking people. They even brought their kids in there and whatever.
Right.
And I just climbed out of that bunker, much like this one on the outside, but a lot larger underground.
Right.
And I remember it manifested myself into becoming a goose. And I kind of wanted to feel the waters of Normandy again. And I remember flying to Normandy as a goose and just in the water. Just kind of, swimming in the water a little bit before I go back to America. I did that. I flew back to America, and we got put onto this we got a couple of medals, couple of Medal of Honors, but behind closed doors.
Yeah, a few. All of them are behind closed doors, of course.
Yeah, so you can't look it up even if you wanted to.
No.
And I remember they sent us to this program. It was like NASA or some shit like that. Some German scientists were there. I don't know what we were building. I think it was some guy. What's the communist guy's name? The whatever.
Yeah, communist guy.
Oppenheimer, that communist.
Oppen something. Communist, I think.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan of that guy. Listen, I know that he is alleged to have created some stuff, including perhaps, The atom bomb. Uh, I don't want to take. I mean, he's dead now, but I feel like I can say this. So, like, basically, I actually gave him that idea. I was hanging out with a lot of German physicists, and we had been working on this idea of splitting the atom.
Right.
Perhaps we can make a bomb that splits itself over and over again, right? These molecules that keep splitting and creating this chain reaction. I was talking to him about it, and Oppenheimer was actually allegedly on the other side of the door. He overheard me, and I opened the door.
He does eavesdrop a lot. I know that. I've met Oppenheimer. I worked with him a short time. So that's true. Keep going.
Hey, communists love eavesdropping. They love doing that.
They love that.
And I opened the door and I caught him, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Listen, sir, I'm so sorry. I outranked him. He got on his knees and groveled at my feet. Obviously, kissed my feet because that's the type of rank I had."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm so sorry. I will never do this again." I'm like, because we're humble guys.
Very humble.
Very humble people. And I actually just kind of told him, like, listen, it's fine. You can do it. You can take the credit. Take the credit. And
very humble.
He was shocked. He was shocked. He was like in complete disbelief of what had just happened. And yeah, I just, and then my biggest issue with him was when he started like talking about how he regretted these things.
Right.
A lot of people died in these atom bombs, and I am become death, destroyer of worlds. He said on that fucking videotape.
That was actually my quote.
It was actually Jason Steele's quote that he stole. He stole the nuclear idea, and stole.
When I was working with him, I said that once.
Yeah.
Once during a specific time. Yeah. I can't go into details, but it was pretty. I literally did become death for a while.
Literally.
I did become death for a while. So I said I've become death, destroyer of worlds, and he has heard that and he thought that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, that's all I say. And then when I actually saw that in the newspaper a while after, I just thought, classic Oppenheimer. And I think he got it from Einstein, actually, because Einstein, he did steal a lot.
They were stealing. That commie and that
commie and that
other guy, the Einstein guy, German.
I remember me and a guy, we were just talking shit, and we were talking about theories of physics, and I told him, yeah, it's pretty basic that E equals mc squared, and I just heard something rumble behind the door, so I opened it, and I saw Einstein scurrying away like a little rat. And I was like, what the fuck? He's gonna write something about this.
He's gonna write something, yeah.
And then, I know a lot about physics and stuff. Once when I was younger, an apple fell on my tree, and I wrote something about it under a pseudonym, of course. But so I know some things about physics, but I'm trying to keep it kind of under wraps, low key. Because if I told the press everything I knew, I mean, it'd be boring.
Yeah,
there'd be one Wikipedia article and be about me.
Yeah,
that's not what a humble guy want to do. I know some things, and I just want to let you guys figure them out on your own.
Yeah,
I mean, I could make sure there's no more war if I wanted to, infinite energy. But what's the point of that?
Then we just have peace.
You guys also need to work. If I just give you guys whatever you need and want, are we gonna get anywhere with society? Really?
No.
We're just gonna have me, the hardworking, blue-collar, humble guy, and
we're both blue-collar.
You lazy people. I mean, some of you are not. Some of you are blue-collar, red-blooded American patriots. I love you guys. That's our viewers we're talking about.
Sir. Yes,
but
sir.
Most of everybody else are, service workers, lazy McDonald's workers.
Yeah. Minimum wage.
Starbucks. People who work for minimum wage. Here's the thing. If you work minimum wage, you deserve it.
Yeah.
And we don't need to raise minimum wage. We need to lower it to create some ambition in these people. Really. Now we're getting a bit political.
Yeah, no,
Let's go back to the topics of Normandy.
Yeah, I remember. I think we had just been ordered to retrieve some bodies from the waters, and because the Normandy landing was over, we had taken out the Germans. We were setting up camp, and it was quite horrifying. It was quite horrifying, but it was raining. I believe it was like minus Fahrenheit out there. It was minus something. It was so cold. But me and Jason here decided, it's not cold enough to take a bath. Mm-mm. So we took a bath, and to me, I'm sitting there thinking, with all of these people floating around me that didn't make it. Like, what was this even all about?
Right.
What were you guys struggling to do? Because I'm out here swimming in my gear. Right. In the cold water, supposed cold water, and I'm doing it without any problem, and y'all out here floating dead.
Right.
Is it that hard to dodge a bullet? Is it that hard to swim with your gear out? Okay, sure. Oh, I was puking my guts out in the boat.
Some people got off the boat and sank immediately. And I just cannot imagine why. In worst case scenario, I've done it before. You just get down there on the bottom and you just start walking. I've done that probably 400 or 500 feet. Just I'm training. So I don't really get the point. I mean, just emerge. It makes me kind of feel like you were trying to avoid the battle to begin with. Right? Yeah. Like you're getting shot on the landing craft before we even reach the beach. Do you want to be here? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Do you want to be here? Or are you just kind of here to take credit and get your Purple Heart and go home?
A lot of people just wanting to, get on that beach and just take credit. I don't get it. You're going to war for credit. I'm going to war to kill.
Right. And then they sit and they talk about it in interviews and podcasts, talking about things they've never fucking done.
Absolutely.
Putting disrespect on true veterans.
I don't get it.
Disgusting.
They make series like the Band of Brothers. First of all, it was based on me and Jason's story. It wasn't even
our
these
stories,
guys.
And then they added some other guys there talking about it being a company of people. It was still people. It was me and him. Me and him.
It's kind of disgraceful. The media has been disgraceful for many years about this. Just veterans going on lying about their service. I don't like veterans who lie about their service.
Disgusting. And even worse, some people are not even veterans and they're talking about shit as if they were there.
I don't want to bring it up again. I know it's relevant, but Robert O'Neill, the guy that supposedly shot Bin Laden.
Robert O'Neill. It was a fucking dog that shot. If you haven't heard, we had that whole episode about this, and just to bring some clarity, it was in fact a well-trained dog, because some of our dogs can actually do that in certain situations. They can't pick up a weapon and they can't use it. Yeah. And in this case, it was because he was a fucking pussy. And I'm sorry I'm using that word so explicitly, but I have to be clear. This guy is not. He's a pussy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of seeing this stuff over and over again on the news cycles with these veterans claiming, I shot Bin Laden. Oh, this other guy shot Bin Laden. Oh, actually, it wasn't here. It was some other dude. Let me tell you, coming straight from the guys that landed on that compound, we strapped each other to an Apache helicopter. There were no Black Hawks available.
That's bullshit. That's liberal media telling you that.
Liberal media saying the military has enough equipment to do combat operations.
No,
that's not true at all. We didn't even get guns.
No, we were unarmed at the time.
I remember we strapped each other to an Apache helicopter, and then we jumped out. We were about 100 feet up in the air. We landed on our feet.
Because we got straps. We got strap-ons, and we're going at it at night. Just going at it hard.
Really hard. We just pounded into them. And
a couple of guys, strap-ons, night, go at it.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yep.
For hours.
Sometimes.
And we gave it to them all night.
And I went in there and I actually karate chopped, I think, a couple of terrorists. I did some of that, and I cut this guy's head off. I just did like that with both my hands, and then his head was off. And then Bin Laden was standing in front of us, and there was a standoff because he was holding his whole family hostage.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, our canine unit was sitting on the back rotor of the Apache, jumped in, landed to the roof actually, picked up an AK,
used it,
mowed down the entire fucking family. Only survivor, Bin Laden, and then the dog ate him, I think, or something. It was kind of surreal to look at, and
these things are easy for us. Even an operation like this, Bin Laden, sometimes you just send dogs because it's so basic. You think, maybe the Marines or blah, blah, blah. No, it goes us, guys like us, well-trained dogs, people like David Goggins, and then, rest of your infantry and whatnot. Really.
Yeah.
So we were pounding these guys. And I mean, I can pound a guy hard and I can give him a real, if I hit his head, it's going off. They're talking a lot now about one gorilla versus 100 men.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I remember once back in 2006, I actually fought 100 gorillas and I won. I killed every single gorilla. I mean, only about 4 or 5 of them were trying to fight me, really. The rest of them were just, they just didn't have much of a choice. Because when the first gorilla was angry, he went after me. And I took him down. And another few gorillas, they were kind of getting concerned. They were trying to get at me, stressed. And I killed them too. And then the rest of the gorillas, that was really a slaughter. But it was easy. It was easy.
It was easy.
I tell you, it was fun. It was so fun. I actually went to Cincinnati back in 2016 just to get another thrill of killing a gorilla. And I shot this. I just went in with my gun. Bah, 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 shot a gorilla.
Yeah. It
happened to be a kid in the enclosure as well.
The thing is, what we meant to do was we wanted to create a situation where we had to shoot the gorilla, right? So I grabbed this kid and I threw him in. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 2016, right?
I think so. 16, yeah.
Cincinnati Zoo. And I threw this kid in, and bang, we accidentally shoot the kid, right? And the gorilla. We killed both, didn't we?
We tried to kill them both.
I think, what was the name of that gorilla? It was like a big news story. It was like...
it was a sort of, flash. It kind of showed up in the news for a while.
Yeah. Apparently he was like some cultural...
People don't like when you kill gorillas. That's why we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because people don't like it.
People don't like it at all. I'm kind of looking at the weather today, and there's a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind.
Really? Oh, shit.
I didn't even notice just until now, actually. And kind of reminded me of when we landed that day on the 1944, 5th of June, actually. We landed the day before. That's actually the real landing date. They put us in. They put us in first to clear it out so they can minimize casualties. Being the untrained soldiers from the other countries that they are, they still, fucked it up. Right. They still died, a lot of them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this little special episode here on Normandy Beach. I think.
It's beautiful now when there's not so much blood.
Yes, because the water was completely red last time we were here, and but it's good to reminisce. Good to reminisce of the things that we did allegedly, and I thank you, patriots, and thank you, viewers, for watching this video.
If you have anything you want us to talk about, maybe a campaign you're wondering, you want to know the truth about some real combat, feel free to write it in the comments and we will mention it in the next episode.
Yes, sir. Killcount Classified out.